Welcome to episode 28 of The Leap Home, leaping in without a net.
In this week's episode, Sam must learn the skills required to complete a dangerous trapeze stunt in just a day or two in order to prevent a fatal accident. With a bitter father who blames him for the death of his mother in the same stunt a year earlier, keen to stand in his way, can Sam overcome the heightened emotions and his own fear of heights to perform the act? Or will the family suffer another tragedy instead?
I thought you always slept in shorts.
Not always. You don't mind, I'd like to go back to sleep.
Good evening, Ian. How are things?
Not too bad, Jerry. It'd be better if you had your shorts on.
Never.
Oh dear.
Why would you? If I was in his position, leaping into all these different environments and sleeping in strange beds, I would be wrapped up quite well. I wouldn't be going...
No, we wouldn't be taking any chances.
No. Especially in the circus where they throw knives.
Well, that's a big risk. It's been known.
First question, who is Annette?
And why does he need her?
I mean, he always leaps in without Annette.
Exactly. It's like meant to be a colleague. This joke's already worn thin. I
wasn't overly impressed with... This is the type of episode that I think that you wouldn't return to if you were a big fan and had it on DVD or the streaming services.
We'll just skip this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they did, once again, wisely make Sam related to the lead lady.
To discourage any shenanigans.
But he did, again, make it all about himself.
Yeah, always.
This is about Sam's fear of heights. There's nothing, like, the original guy would have been able to do this fine.
Mm-hmm.
He just needed a shove in the right direction.
Yeah.
And in fact, I don't understand why he didn't, because he was practicing at the start. He was in the middle of practicing, so obviously the brother originally intended to help his sister with this act. So I don't know what happened in the original history that led to the father. I suppose maybe the original history, the son wasn't willing to challenge the father when he said, I'll do it.
I think so, yeah.
So maybe just that one moment.
The domineering parent, yeah.
Yeah.
And perhaps, well, we've discovered that he's got a lot of power, and maybe in that type of culture you don't question.
Well, yeah, maybe it is just traditions and respect.
Mm-hmm.
But Sam has none of that.
No. That's been demonstrated very
time
often.
after time, yes. Before we get into it, social media stuff, if folk want to chat to us, we're on Twitter and Instagram at Leap Home Podcast. We're at The Leap Home on Facebook, and you can get show notes on theleaphome.com. And every week, you'll get the podcast episode 1 week early by visiting our YouTube channel, Columbo Podcast Productions, where you can leave comments and you can hit the bell to be subscribed and notified of new episodes. And you can review us by going to places like Apple Podcasts, and we would really appreciate that as well. I think that was record time.
I think so. And as we're not doing the old massive dong, I'm going to revert back to Snapchat.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about the episode?
Let's crack on.
Same intro as last week.
Yep, let's not mention it then.
So we get a really short snippet as well in between that and the credits, where it was not much more than we saw at the end of last week's episode with Sam and this girl who turns out to be called Ava, telling him not to mess up this time, him shouting no as she launches herself at him, and him missing her completely. But she falls into her good friend, Annette.
Yes. Sam this week is Victor Panzini, and the woman we've discovered is his sister.
Eva, or Eva.
Eva, yeah. That's my daughter's name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Eva or Eva?
Eva.
Or Eva.
I wanted Eva, but the wife went for Eva and she overruled me.
Some folk pronounce EVA as Eva.
They're wrong, stupid. It's clearly an E.
Eva Peron.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, after the credits we find out that this is November the 18th, 1958. That'll come up later.
Will it?
Yes, I'll talk about that. I've got a note.
Okay, and we return to the big top. Sam's voiceover considers that after so many leaps, he thought that he had filled in enough of his Swiss cheese memory, but no, he finds out that he is terrified of heights.
Oh dear.
Not great.
His sister, however, thinks he's dropped her or missed her on purpose. Tells him he should dress as a clown and perform if that's how he's going to behave.
Yeah, she's only half serious and reminds him that after not flying for a year, he's bound to be a little rusty.
And that period of time, again, is relevant. We'll learn why.
Certainly. She goes on to state that if she's going to be the first woman to do the triple since Mama, they must practice, and assures him that they have time for another attempt before Papa returns. Okay, let's discuss this right at the outset. The triple does not. I mean, maybe it's
It's not that
1950.
impressive.
It's
This
not
is my
that
note.
impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's 3 spins.
Triple somersault.
And as Al later mentions, the number of spins that she doesn't really affect Sam.
As long as she's facing the right way at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing's made about, it's, Sam catching the triple, but you know what? Maybe she goes a bit faster.
Yeah, maybe.
But still, have you been at the circus recently?
No.
I have. I've taken the kids
Did they
and
do a triple?
more than that, some of the stuff they're doing is incredible.
I mean, if you see Cirque du Soleil stuff,
Yeah.
they're setting themselves on fire
Sure.
and dropping 3 stories into a tiny little thimble of water and stuff like that.
Of course. Not even the local circus. I mean, they don't have animals anymore. One was a big kids circus, another one is Zappos or something that comes to this area. And they don't have animals, like motorbikes, in fact. The
To do stunts and stuff.
yeah. But some of the acrobats and the people who contort with their bodies are incredible. And every time I go, I think to myself, yeah, I can appreciate how that, back 100 years ago, back 50 years ago, before the technology that you had and the circus would come to town, it would be an amazing sight to see these people doing these type of things. These days you could look at all this on YouTube in seconds.
Yeah. I mean, the only drama in this is that there is literally a risk of death.
Well, that's why, people do like to watch things that have
That's a
that.
morbid fascination, isn't it?
Yeah.
They don't want to see somebody die, but they want the chance to maybe see somebody die.
No, the only time I ever glance at F1 is if there's a crash.
Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah. It's road driving in circles. Anyhow, Sam, by this stage, is hanging from his trapeze by one leg and sounds much less than confident.
Yeah, he's gripping on for her dear life as Eva tells him about her dream of their mother the previous night, where she told her that she could pull off the triple before fading away.
However, their father shows up at this point and says nobody's doing any triple.
Yeah, he's an angry man. Laszlo is his name. He orders Sam down, but he finds himself frozen with fear and only tumbles to the net when he is shouted at, much to the amusement of the other members of the...
Yeah, a bunch of idiots have shown up just to laugh at him and then they leave again.
Yeah, it's the...
It's the other circus performer.
Is it circus? Is this a carnival?
Yeah, there's some sort of...
Debate about what it is. We'll just use them interchangeably, I think.
For some reason they all hang out together and wander around in a pack.
Yeah.
This happens again later.
Well, I think it's very much an us against them. So they're the management team. Is it management or?
Well, I think the guy who is the ringmaster is in charge, but the rest of them, I think, are maybe just keeping in with him. I guess.
Yeah. So I think that the Laszlos have got this position of
Panzini or Laszlo himself.
Yeah, sorry, the Panzini family. Yeah. I did have more of a history, more of a background.
Well,
where they
Laszlo
were-
says that now. He says that 2 years ago, these guys would have been desperate to work with us, and now they're laughing at us and calling us goulash.
Yeah.
It's not the most imaginative insult for
It's
a Hungarian person.
Terrible insult. It's like getting called
It's like,
haggis.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Fried square sausage. Anyhow, Laszlo gives Sam a good slap to the face, and Eva has to step in. Eva has to step in and take responsibility.
Yeah, she says it was her fault as she asked Sam to help her practice, and that if she can do the triple, it will make them the headliners again, the reason why they left Hungary.
Laszlo is completely disinterested in this, and he tells Sam that he's probably loosened the rigging, so tighten it up because there's a show in 1 hour.
And he then storms off. Eva is clearly frustrated and screams how she hates everything about this place, but accepts that she knows how hard it was for Sam being up there. But she insists that it's for the best and nothing will stop them doing this triple. And again, I'm thinking, keep going on about it. The triple.
We're being drip-fed the backstory here. We'll put it together a wee bit later on, I suspect.
Yeah. We're now outside.
Well, you missed the bit where we get a voiceover of Sam thinking that as a kid, he loved it when the circus came to town, but he didn't have to be up in the air at that point.
And as he wanders around outside, he considers that this circus doesn't seem to have any clowns or animals and actually looks more like a carnival, before looking at himself in a magic mirror and thinking he looks weird.
Yeah, and I think that is just Sam's reflection. It's not somebody else.
No, it's a magic mirror.
Yeah, but
We all look
normally
weird.
Sam would see somebody else in a reflection.
Oh, right. You think, okay.
There's not another actor doing that. It's actually just him.
I didn't notice that, and I suppose that's why they were able to do that.
Yeah. He's walked past a tent that says authentic harem, exotic girls.
Yeah.
So that's the calibre of act that they're working with.
Where's Al going to be hanging around?
Well, I wonder. Just then, they've got a short person called Mo who shows up. I think everyone else calls him Big Mo, but I've just called him Mo because it seems a little bit on the nose.
Yeah.
He asks whether it's true that Ava is going to do the triple.
And suggesting that it would mean that they can improve their working venue if she does. So they're behind her, because this will bring up the calibre, I suppose.
It'll bring more people, it'll make them be able to hit better spots in the circuit and whatever else, yeah.
However, he's quick to dismiss Sam by saying that it's Laszlo who makes all the decisions, and I think he wanders off.
Yeah, and Sam spots Al following a stripper around.
Yeah, I think she's going to this.
Yes, the authentic harem.
Yeah. It's an exotic dancer who coincidentally has the same name.
Well, her name I think turns out to be Elvira, but she responds to Al. Sam has to improvise, says it's nice to see her again, and she tells him he's so Hungarian and walks off. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, Al is very excited about the role that Sam has to take on.
Well, yeah, it makes him anxious as he describes this aerial act before noting that the Panzinis are the stars and were at one time the most famous trapeze act in the entire world.
I mean, that's a low bar.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know any. I couldn't name a single one.
No. I mean, does Cirque du Soleil count?
Probably.
Maybe, yeah.
But that's not the act, that's the entire company, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's not just the specific, but they're all doing it, I think. I don't know. I've not been. I would quite like to go and see them, I think.
I went to see them in Vegas. I think it was the Michael Jackson one, the brand, yeah. It's good.
Impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Death-defying.
In fact, I think a couple of years ago in that same venue, I think one or two people did die.
They weren't death-defying at all?
No.
Just death?
Just death, yeah. They tried to defy it, and death says,
failed to defy.
I'll show you, yeah.
Al tells Sam that his sister Ava is 18 and he wants to find her changing. He doesn't actually say that. He wonders where she is.
No, he doesn't say it, but that's what is certainly implied in...
Yes, Sam says she'll be changing and Al wanders off and
she looks a lot
calls
older.
him back.
Yeah, she looks a lot older than 18 as well.
She's definitely older than 18.
I think she's about 27.
Al accuses Sam of taking all the fun out of being a hologram. Out of being a pervert.
Admitting it here, yeah. No one can see me, so I can do what I like.
Essentially.
Can watch what I like, yeah. But we knew that anyway.
Yeah.
Instead, they enter Sam's trailer, and Al provides a little more background on the leap.
Well, 1 year ago, they were on top. They were the star attraction of the Circus Vargas, and then Maria, who is your mother and Eva's, she got killed trying to do the triple in Chicago. And ever since then, Laszlo's reduced the act to just simple catches, stuff anybody could do.
Except me. I don't care if it's just easy stuff that they're doing in a corner. To me, it's all impossible.
No, you don't say carny, see. Only rubes say that. This is a mud show.
Let me guess. You ran away from the orphanage when you were a kid and joined the circus?
Yeah. Didn't you?
No. I was happy at home.
Yeah, well, see, that's easy for you to say. You grew up on a farm. I grew up in an orphanage. You had a mother and father. I had a probation officer. You had a cow. I had a roach.
A what?
Well, when I was 8 years old, I had a pet roach. Only problem was the kid in the next bed had a pet lizard. I'll never forget him. His name was Kevin.
The kid in the next bed?
No, the roach.
Why do I even ask?
Did you tighten the rigging?
I was supposed to tighten the rigging, but I didn't know how.
Victor!
No, I didn't have,
I'll do it myself, like I do everything. We are on in 20 minutes. Don't be late.
So at this point, a terrified Sam tells Al that he can't go out and perform, to which he unhelpfully replies that he won't know unless he tries. That's not how these things work.
No, not at all. Oh, just do it, yeah. What's the worst that could happen?
Or it's like me saying, yeah, I can't, if I leapt into a brain surgeon, I can't perform this brain surgery.
As well give it a
Well,
go.
how do you know if you've not tried? So, well,
I haven't learned the skills. I mean, Al does explain that there's reasons why he should be able to do it. He says he's an athlete and he's got good coordination.
no,
he's
that's,
strong.
I'm sorry, that's just nonsense. That's like, they're not transferable skills to that extent. You can't just go and grab a football player just now and expect him to be
a good acrobat.
this won't happen.
It's now showtime in the big top, and Mo introduces the act dressed as a ringmaster. There's not much of a crowd.
Yeah, well, he introduces a terrible act first to
It's just
this
coloured
crowd.
dogs.
He describes it. He tells us where they are.
Does he?
Yeah, Bucks,
Oh, it's
Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really poor quality act. As an irate Laszlo complains from the wings that Sam is late.
And he's even more furious when Sam shows up in tights.
Yes, he throws overalls at him. I think Sam's really quite puzzled. You know, that's what you wear.
Yeah, but Sam's relieved to be out of the act, as it were.
Yeah, and also when he throws, you do see there's a wee hint at what's to come. When Laszlo throws the
He's got a sore
overalls,
arm.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, he tells Sam he doesn't ever want to see him in tights again.
I think we can all agree with that sentiment.
Indeed. Especially by the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
The colourful dogs finish their act and Mo introduces the flying panzinis, so Laszlo and Ava come out in costume with their capes to take the applause.
Yeah. Sam is equally relieved and delighted to discover that his job is only to hold the ladder and he's not performing.
Yeah, Al tells him it's an important job, he needs to hold the ladder taut, but Sam immediately lets go of it.
You know, yeah. However, he does have bad news as well for Sam.
Yeah, he has to catch Ava or she will die in 2 days' time.
Yeah, Zeki says there's a 97.2% chance that he is there to help or save his sister.
Sam looks pretty devastated at this news.
Yeah, well, you would be.
Yeah. Imagine, just get you have to do this or she will die and you know you can't do it.
Yeah, I think Al tells him that Laszlo is going to try and catch her, but he drops her and he needs to be up there to do the catch.
Yeah. It's funny though, Sam, he's perfectly willing to have a go at being a lawyer with no training or being a stuntman or whatever, but he's not willing to
Well,
do this.
I would say that the lawyer's entirely different. I mean, if you mess up, what happens?
Your client can be executed.
Yeah, you won't be.
Yeah, you're fine, yeah.
You can always appeal, right? There's always a second chance. But you can't appeal a 50-foot drop.
No, that's true. At night,
We're back in the trailer, yeah.
Sam's sound asleep, but Ava playfully wakes him up with the old tickle to the nose trick.
Yeah, it's 4:30 in the morning, and I think we heard his response in the opening clip.
Well, we heard her response to him sleeping in the nude.
Mm.
And his response is, yes, he doesn't want to practice, he wants to sleep. However, she's quite considerate. She goes through the whole scenario and says he's not responsible for their mother's death, even though he was trying to catch her and she fell to her death.
Yeah, why? What happened?
She explains that their mother had a cold, she was struggling with her balance, and everyone knows that, including their father, who only cannot blame her because he loved her so much.
Yeah, and so Sam sort of now understands the resentment, and Eva insists that he is better than his dad, Laszlo.
Due to the injury, at least.
Yes, he hurt his shoulder, and he therefore has to catch her for this triple attempt.
Sam then once again lets his own problems intervene in the task by saying he doesn't want to go up there, which angers Eva.
Yeah, she's about to leave in a huff, claiming that she will be ready and will have to use Big Mo as a catcher if required. But she sort of softens on her way out. She tells him that although their mother is dead, they will be too, I suppose, inside. If they don't do this, they don't try their best.
If they just let everything peter out and, never try to be better,
Mm-hmm. I think there's also a mention here of them hearing from another circus.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
They've got to be ready for this when the call comes.
Right. In the big top, Ava is practicing. This must still be about 4:30 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah, well, they need to do it before Laszlo gets up. I think that's the point.
Al shows up and talks to Sam, who's also appeared in the tent. Sam's position is that it would be just as dangerous to have an incompetent catcher as an injured one.
Well, yeah, I think Al agrees. He says that if you make contact and don't catch the person, that's worse because you can knock them off, and they won't fall in the net. Or
indeed,
yeah. But that's not what happened to Maria.
Okay,
she fell and didn't have a safety net at all.
No,
so it wasn't that she was knocked off course. It was
just there was nothing to catch her.
Sam, I think at this point he mentions the cold that Eva's mother had.
He wonders why she would go on that night.
Yeah, and I think Al says it's the same reason why Eva is practicing just now. It's in their blood. It's what they do.
An impulse. Yeah.
He again insists that he can't be there to catch her, but Al reiterates Ziggy's probability percentage, which causes him to sort of snap briefly at Al.
Yeah, but he's then surprised to learn that Al is aware of his fear of heights.
Sam didn't realise that Al knew this, and this irritates Al.
Yeah, because Sam can't tell him how long they've known each other, even with his Swiss cheese brain. Al says that Sam's been scared of heights since he was 9 years old, which unlocks a memory.
Tell me about this memory.
So Sam remembers going to see Tarzan at the pictures with his brother, then setting up a rope in their barn back on the farm and being sent up the rope to tighten a knot and freezing when he got to the top.
I thought he was going to say that he'd fallen. It was a terrible reason to be fair. Yeah, I was up high once. Yeah, nothing happened. It was fine, it was perfectly safe.
I managed to climb the rope and I got back down.
But Al snaps him back to the present by reminding him of the severe consequences if he's not able to go over this phobia by the following evening.
Yes, and at this point Eva comes over, having dropped off the trapeze, and tells Sam she's pleased to see him, and he chastises her for practising without a catcher.
Yeah, because she's boasting about her solo triples, and so he agrees to help her out.
Yeah, well, she says she has no choice but to practice without a catcher, and he says, yes, you do. He's stepping up to the mark.
And she says she'll go and fix Laszlo his breakfast as Sam gets ready. But at this, they hear their father shouting for them, and Al leaves to speak to Gushy about an idea that he's come up with.
I'm not sure we ever heard about this idea, did we?
I can't remember. We'll get to that.
Okay.
So we're outside, and for once Laszlo is in a good mood. Surrounded by the troop, he reads out the telegram that he has been waiting for.
I told you they would need us! Circus Vargas to the Flying Pansinis. Can you make Denver evening performance 18? Stop! Send the ring. Stop! Old sorry plus 10%. Stop! Wire reply ASAP. What is ASAP?
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. I knew those Mexican flyers couldn't bring crowds like the Pancines. I'm surprised they didn't realize their mistake sooner.
So you're go.
As soon as I can wire them back.
Well, what about us?
What do you mean, what about us?
We got to make a living.
Ah, I see. So we are not goulash anymore, huh?
Laszlo, come here.
What?
Let's talk. Laszlo.
Yes.
The Flying Pansine is the only real attraction we have here. Without you, we might as well just fold up our tent.
I'm sorry, Big Mo. We go.
I'll give you 25% of the midway take after expenses.
It's not the money.
Okay, 40% then.
I'm sorry, but we must go back where we belong.
Then why don't you get on a boat, hunky?
Listen, if you weren't a dwarf...
Dwarf? What are you calling a dwarf? No, but you're a Big Mo without a fight. Steps on Big Mo gets a real hit.
Hey, quick point there. The start of the episode, the graphic said it's the 18th of November.
Okay.
This is the next day.
Right.
The telegram says, can you get to Denver by the 18th? So they're too late.
18th of what?
November.
Telegram said that?
Well,
it said the 18th.
It said the 18th, but they go the next day.
Yeah, but this is a time travel thing.
So they maybe should have lined it up a bit better there.
Yeah. From that clip, couple of things. I mean, on the face of it, Laszlo is a bit of a scumbag. He's just jumping ship and he's leaving all these other people to fend for themselves.
I'm sure they'd have had him tied to a contract if they valued him.
Yeah. But also you have to say, he's only been away, or he's only been with them for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And all they're doing during this year anyway is like normal, he's not doing any triples.
Really basic, yeah.
So this circus they're with just now must be on its last legs anyway.
Oh, you would think so. It seems to just be going through the motions, as it were.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so yeah, at the end of that clip, Sam has to use his martial arts again.
Yeah, because Laszlo, I think we just heard him calling Big Mo a dwarf, which rightly angered Big Mo and caused him to go for Laszlo, and the rest of them kind of piled in, and Sam fought them all off.
Did you see the guy with the knife?
Yeah.
He was about to be murdered.
Yeah, over nothing. But having dealt with all the others, Laszlo's now proud of Sam, but he still has Mo on his back, and he asks Sam to deal with him. Yeah,
so he sort of peels him off, and Laszlo leaves as Sam chastises Mo for calling him a hunky.
Yeah, but he says that Laszlo was also wrong to use the dwarf term, and says that Mo is a little person, which isn't a term Mo is familiar with, but he likes it.
He does, yeah. I mean, I think that's the point, isn't it? People would have been called dwarfs and freaks and midgets and all that back then.
Big Mo.
Big Mo, yeah. So little person is a naming convention that, you know, it's
Developed later.
Yeah.
Mo, despite liking that, still thinks Sam is a hunky, punches him in the balls and then runs off.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Eva checks that he's okay. He's still okay to practice.
Yeah. So we go back to the big top. Sam is up in the swing with a floating Al advising him to open his eyes and not look
So
down.
is this what Al was talking to Gushy about, whether he can make him float?
I think he can always float, can
No,
he not?
we've not seen him do it before.
Why would he need to? Yeah, I mean,
He's always been as if he's standing on something, so maybe
Yeah.
they have to change what his hologram is relative to, so that he can appear
You think so?
somewhere. I don't know. Maybe that's the only thing that occurs to me.
He's jumped into a plane before.
Yeah, but the plane had a floor.
Seems a strange rule that as a hologram, you
No, it might just be when the
coordinates of
coordinates of where they centre the hologram is relative to the ground.
Yeah, so without that, he wouldn't know where to place him.
Yeah,
Yeah, that might be it, yeah.
it could be.
Fair point.
They don't actually talk about it.
Okay.
Anyway, Sam is quite surprised to see Al floating in thin air, but Al explains that he himself is thin air.
Eventually, Al persuaded Sam to pump.
Yes, that's the technique that he needs for the act, and he's quite pleased once he gets going.
And then suggests that Eva start with a simple straight catch to begin with.
Yep, and although he initially does catch her, she kind of slips to one hand and insists that he drops her, although Al is shouting at him to hang on.
Yeah. So before we find out what happens here, I think Al makes a point that this practice will increase his chances by
20%.
Yeah, to 30%.
Yes.
Still,
I thought he was going to say to 20%.
but still, 30% is better than nothing.
That's what Al says.
Yeah.
She's got a 100% chance of dying if he doesn't do it.
Uh-huh.
Anyhow, Sam does release her on Eva's request and she falls off the net.
But Sam doesn't notice this at first. He's boasting. It's like watching a boxer celebrating a win, but then he says, wait a second, this guy doesn't.
It's like one of those clips of a penalty shootout where the ball hits the bar and the keeper runs off and then the ball comes down and spins into the goals.
Yeah. Eventually does look down and he finds his sister on the ground and unconscious. So Sam drops down and is amazingly quick to establish that she's just been winded.
Oh yeah, he's a doctor.
Doctors can't, they're not magicians. It's like,
he's X-rater.
He's fine.
With his fine fingers in his mind. Al's gone inside her and checked for internal injuries.
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyway, when she comes round, she asks where Elle went to, as she heard him talking to her.
Yeah, she obviously heard him talking to Al. And Sam just panics a wee bit and says, I went for water.
Yeah.
Eva wants to practice again, but Sam says that he's almost killed her once and he's not going to try it ever again.
Yeah, but she blames herself and Al sides with her, obviously, because he needs Sam to do this.
Despite this, Sam just doesn't think he can learn. He's very easily persuaded that he keeps oscillating from, I'm never doing this, to, oh, okay, I'll try it, but I'm not very good, to oh, I'm never doing this, oh, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Anyway, at this point he says he doesn't think they can learn by tomorrow night, by which time they'll be in Denver, but Eva responds in Hungarian.
What'd she say?
God bless, I believe.
Uh-huh.
And Al translates because one of his wives was Hungarian, second or third, he's not sure which.
Yep.
Sam then does his usual BS and tries to convince Eva that he knows what's going to happen in the future, that Laszlo is going to drop her to her death.
You mentioned this earlier, and generally I would agree with you. However, in this type of circumstance where there are people who are apparently fortune tellers and they've got all sorts of beliefs and, you know, that it's maybe not as mainstream as other people, then maybe you could think, maybe you could buy the fact that he's had some sort of vision.
I mean, he does try and sell it a wee bit, but she's not buying the fact that it's real. I mean, she maybe understands that he thinks this, but she says nobody can see the future, but she does have an idea.
What's that?
I think she's going to take him off to visit the fortune teller.
Yeah.
Sybil?
Yeah, she takes his hand and leads him to Sybil, who appears to be able to sense Al.
Well, she certainly seems uneasy in his presence because Al gets there first and she looks at it kind of shaken, and then later on Al picks up on it.
Mm-hmm. In any case, Eva demands to know what she has been saying to her brother.
The truth. That I'm going to die doing the triple.
I never said that. She told me that.
Then what did she tell you?
Only what I saw.
In your crystal ball.
That ball is for rubes. I told him what I saw in his soul.
Sam, this is getting a little weird. I think she can sense me, so I'm gonna retire.
Al.
Elvira?
See ya.
You saw Elvira in Victor's soul.
Yes. The eyes do not lie, Victor.
Victor, you've been in this mad show way too long.
Sybil didn't tell me that you were gonna fall tomorrow, but
Then who did?
An angel.
An angel? What do you mean, an angel?
I don't know. It just came out.
You were visited by an angel.
well, yeah, he kind of appeared to me in my dreams, like Mama did to you.
Look into my eyes, Sybil. Am I going to die on the trapeze?
You could. But not for a long time.
Why not for a long time?
Because I see children in Eva's eyes.
It wasn't an angel. It was your fear causing the dream. I'm going to pack. Papa wanna leave before dark. Elvira? Really, Victor?
After Eva leaves, Sam has a little private consultation with Sybil.
Yeah, he reminds Sybil that she had said that she could die, but she tells him that not if he catches her.
She then notices that he's been reincarnated many times and she could see all the souls in his eyes.
Yes, he's nonsense.
Like quite a lot of episodes folk talk about his eyes.
Yeah.
I think that's meant to be a thread.
Yeah, a little bit creepy as well.
Yeah. Especially if you could sense Al.
Yeah, that's because these cannibal types have got superpowers.
Oh, she must be a real fortune teller.
Of course she is. Just likes to make a pittance travelling around.
That's it. She uses her powers for a small amount of money.
Anyway, back to the big top.
Yep, Sam is musing on the words that Sybil gave him while he climbs the rope to the trapeze.
Yeah, well, I think he said he's never believed in this mumbo jumbo before, but Sybil touched him enough that he's been sent back to the trapeze. She's convinced him that he needs to help his sister.
Al shows up and says he's very proud of Sam, but Ziggy hasn't changed her mind. He still needs to catch Eva. So Al goes back into teaching mode.
Yeah, as Sam composes himself and he starts to pump under Al's instruction and gets himself into the catching position.
He does. Back in the trailer, Laszlo is talking to his dead wife, saying that he will never trust to forgive their son again.
That's really harsh, isn't it?
Very harsh. He says he was proud of him before the accident, and today he was proud of him for fighting like a Hungarian, so maybe it is time to give him another chance.
And I think he also says it'd be good to be able to hug him again, which is important.
Which he can't do because he hates him.
Well, of course. I hate hug.
In the big top, Eva again catches Sam talking to Al.
Yeah, I think she says that the last time she spoke to an imaginary playmate, she was 6 years old.
Indeed.
Did you ever have an imaginary friend?
No.
Neither did I. I think I tried it once because I saw it in a movie and I thought it'd be good to have one.
It's like there's nobody there.
I realised this is rubbish.
They don't move anything.
No.
My son talks to himself quite a lot. I think it's a autism thing.
Yeah.
He literally has conversations when he's thinking about things.
Oh no, I do talk to myself now.
Out loud?
Yes, and I answer myself.
Oh, okay.
But I know it's not another person.
Oh, as long as you're aware.
Yeah.
I'll send him a message on my phone, and so who are you talking to? He says, just talking to myself, leave me alone.
Yeah, he wants intelligent conversation.
Yeah, it's the only place he gets in this house.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Laszlo comes in while Eva and Sam are practicing, and he sees Sam catching... Oh, he doesn't see Sam catch the double. He comes in just after Sam's able to catch a double.
Yeah, this before while she's putting on extra height to do the triple.
That's just before that. So then she puts on the extra height to do the triple, and Laszlo seems to be content to let them try. He's not going to shout and stop them straight away, but Sam makes a mess of this, drops Eva onto the net, and Laszlo is furious once again. Everything, all the progress that's been made is lost.
Yeah, I think he accuses him of trying to kill his sister as well as his mother.
Yeah.
That's really, really harsh.
Yeah, it's like, don't worry about his emotional state, it's fine. As long as you feel better, Laszlo.
Oh. Anyway, we find ourselves on the road.
Yeah, heading to Denver, and Al is in the cab with Sam, having spent a bit of time with Laszlo and Eva in the other one.
Yeah, he's listening to Tequila, the song.
Yeah,
Not the one
Tequila.
from... No, that one, no.
Al is half out the car, his head's sticking out the roof.
Yeah, and I think he says that the song reminded him of some girls, of course.
Yes. Sam makes him slide down into where the seat should be.
Yeah, at least pretend to be sitting beside me, he says.
Yeah. And Al says he's noticed Laszlo's injured arm, which Sam says he's already diagnosed as a torn rotator cuff, and he's actually amazed that Laszlo can make any catches at all.
Yeah, and they appreciate this is why she's going to be dropped.
Yes, but Al is able to explain to Sam where he went wrong on the dropped catch earlier.
Apparently he was reaching as opposed to waiting for her to come to him.
So the timing was out.
Yeah.
And Al says, am I ever wrong? Not counting marriages.
I like that line.
Which was a good wee line. Yeah.
So they arrive at this circus, the Vargas circus.
Yeah, Cliff, the guy in charge. We've seen him before as a different character.
Richard Reel.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Cliff Vargas.
Yes.
Yeah.
He gives them a wee tour.
Yeah, so he knows him, obviously. They worked a year before. There's a bit of a small talk. And as you say, he shows them around, shows off the changes that he's made. But he admits that he still needs the Panzinis and shows them their poster with Eva on it, which promises what?
It promises the triple, much to Laszlo's disgust.
Yeah, he quite matter-of-factly and insistently tells them that there won't be any triple.
Unemotionally, he's quite straight on this, but Cliff says that he said in his letter that they were doing the triple, which confuses Laszlo.
What letter?
I sent it, Papa. And I signed your name.
You had no right to do it.
Yes, I did. I'm just as much a part of this act as you are. Papa, I can do the triple.
I'm sorry, Cliff. She should have done it. But we don't do the triple.
Victor and I do.
Look, I don't want to get into the middle of family quarrels.
No. There is no quarrel. I'm the head of the family. I decide what we do.
Then Victor and I will form our own act.
You'd break up the act?
Papa, we haven't had an act since Mama died.
Laszlo. Great. I'll see you under the big tub.
Thank you. You'll see, Victor and I will make you so proud.
If anyone catches you doing the triple, it will be me.
No.
You know, maybe for the first performance, he would be
No.
better.
He can't catch you, Eva. He has a torn rotator cuff.
What are you? A doctor now?
It doesn't take a doctor to see that you can't use your right arm.
I can catch better with one arm than you can with two.
Do you really believe that?
You killed Mama, didn't you?
Papa!
No, I didn't. I think pride killed her. But the same pride that's going to make you go in the tent and perform when you can't. Only it's not going to kill you. It's going to kill Eva.
Have you ever tried to perform in a tent before?
Not with one arm.
At the end of the clip there, Laszlo, he reaches for Sam to give him a punch or a slap, but
Yep.
Sam is able to grab him and easily overpower this arm, which I suppose proves
Yeah,
the
it shows
point.
that he can't push against it. He's got no power in his arm, so he resents this and walks away. No, he resents the right way.
He's quite humbled now, I suppose. He's feeling
He's
a bit...
also still angry.
Yeah, but perhaps a bit sort of demasculated or...
Emasculated.
Emasculated?
Yeah.
Emasculated, that's what I said.
Okay. We skip ahead to the performance. So Sam, having not yet been able to do this trick, is now going to perform it.
So if they're not... Yeah, they haven't successfully done it. I mean...
No.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, so the circus, it's night time now. The circus is in full swing with clowns and animals and other performing creatures, including bears and chimps, which these days...
Not allowed.
Not allowed at all.
There's a woman spinning on a chain that's hanging from a guy's mouth. That's much more impressive.
Mm. Yeah.
And
That's the type of thing you still see, which does...
Yeah.
You are impressed by it. It's hard not to be.
Yeah. And the ringmaster gives us some more background information.
Tell me.
He says that a year ago tonight, Maria was killed attempting the triple, and tonight her children will attempt it. And Al says it's not really a year, but that's kind of artistic license.
Yeah, no, this puts Sam even more on edge. But I mean, why would you, as a ringmaster, think that would be an appropriate...
Yeah, their mother died just a year ago. But this goes back to the thing we talked about at the start, where Eva tells Sam she knows it's been a year since he's flown.
Yeah.
So literally he's not done this since his mother died.
No.
And they're like, oh, why are you having so many problems?
Yeah, it's crazy. And at the same time, we see Laszlo entering, and there's a second sort of shocking revelation.
Yes, there's going to be no net, which upsets Laszlo and Sam.
Yeah, that's what killed their mother as well.
Al knew about this, but pretends he didn't to keep Sam happy.
Yeah, well, he says, if you knew, would you have done it? And he says, no. He goes, well, there you go.
So Al heads downstairs to watch from the audience area, and the act begins as the ringmaster calls for complete silence.
Well, that's after the drum roll. It's like silence after lots of a drum roll.
You guys silent, not us.
Yeah. I think we see Eva bless herself. Sam begins to do his swing, I think.
He's pumping.
Yep, he's pumping. She performs this triple. And of course, Sam...
catches it.
He
doesn't leap, though. That would be a really awkward time to leap.
Because the real victor comes back in, he's just been chilling. No, I dropped her.
I've killed another one.
Didn't work. Yeah. Prepare yourself. I've not done this for a year. No, don't. But fortunately he doesn't leap. They all get down there, a standing ovation.
Laszlo runs out from the audience and is introduced by the ringmaster as the father of the tribe or whatever.
Yeah. He hugs Eva as Sam queries with Al why he hasn't leaped as yet.
Yeah, when Laszlo's got one last piece of criticism for him.
Yes.
He says, next time, wave to the crowd.
But we see all is forgiven.
They hug, finally.
Yeah, and Sam, at this point, leaps. He leaps into Raising Arizona, as far as I can tell.
Well, he seems to be stealing a baby from a house.
Have you watched Raising Arizona?
Is that the Nick Cage one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen bits of it. I don't think I've watched the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming it's influenced this next episode in some way, but we'll find out when we get there, obviously.
Yeah, so we see Sam put this basket that he's taken in the back of a truck, but the woman he's with brings it inside, and Sam's shocked to see it contains a baby.
Yeah.
And that's the end. My note, which you've already said during this episode, was that wasn't much of an act.
No. It was rubbish, the triple.
And Sam's part seemed easy and without skill, the way that he did it.
My daughter goes to gymnastics, and she was actually at one of these little competitions, and there was tons of kids, like of all ages,
doing triples
and backward flips and somersaults that were far more impressive.
Yeah.
And then you can see anyone these days, can't you? I mean, you can watch a football player do a backflip after scoring a goal, skateboarders and all this type of stuff.
I wonder why, or if there was any choice involved, why Eva had the net removed when they'd never managed it in practice.
I suppose from a marketing point of thing, it's
so yeah, is that how she sold it to Cliff? Was that part of the conditions of them doing that?
Yeah, maybe. And then moving forward, people, word of mouth, it will spread.
Yeah, fair enough. I thought it was okay.
It was fine. There wasn't even that much to discuss.
No, that's why we've zoomed through it in 45 minutes.
Did we? Oh yeah, it's a fast one. Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, let's not hang about. There's not much to say.
We'll nip through the trivia quickly as well.
Before that, we'll do what we've learned, or do you want to do the trivia first?
We'll do the trivia first, because otherwise I have to skip down my document and back up again.
Okay, go for it.
Originally aired on the 28th of March, that means it had a week off since the last one, but I don't think it would have been a rerun because he leaped into this at the end of the previous episode. Directed by Christopher T. Welsh, this is his third of 4, so he's coming to the end of his run. I think the next one's in season 3 though. Hear more about him on the podcast for Her Charm. Written by Tommy Thompson, the first of 13 for the show. He also wrote for shows like Sequest, DSV, Dark Angel and Touching Evil. He was a producer for series 4 and 5 of Quantum Leap. He's now 65, still active. Laszlo was played by Jan Triska. This was his only Quantum Leap. He also appeared in shows and movies like The Karate Kid 3, People vs. Larry Flint, Days of Our Lives, and lots of actual Hungarian movies. So they got a genuine Hungarian.
Oh, that's good.
He died in 2017 when he was 80. Fabiana Eugenio played Eva. This was her only Quantum Leap.
She was nice. I remember her from
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers, yeah. Because I remember quite fancying her back in the day.
Yeah, she's actually Italian and not Hungarian. Or Italian background. She also appeared in shows like Cheers, Babylon 5, movies like Austin Powers, like you say, Robocop 2, and she's still active. She's 57 now. We'd talked about Richard Reel before. He played Cliff Vargas, who ran the Denver Circus. This is his second Quantum Leap, and you'll hear more about him back in the season 1 podcast for Play It Again Seymour. Phil Fondacaro played Mo, or Big Mo, the ringmaster at the Mud Show. This was his only Quantum Leap, but he also appeared in films like Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, and Willow.
I was going to say, how many times do you think he's worked with Warwick Davis?
Well, I think Warwick Davis has probably taken all his work. He's had a recurring role in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and he's been in CSI. He's now 64, he's still active. I think they've made a series of Willow based on the movie, and he's reprised the role from that. In terms of trivia, apparently Scott Bakula had motion sickness, found it quite hard to film the episode.
So did he do some swinging himself then?
That's done.
Yeah.
No stuntman.
No.
Like I said during the episode, there wasn't really a mirror reveal. It wasn't another actor playing the reflected Victor in the distorted mirror. Okay, in terms of things we learned, so the ones that I've got are, after leaving the orphanage, Al was in a circus for a while. He had a pet cockroach called Kevin, married to a Hungarian, familiar with some Hungarian customs and languages. Psychics can sense his presence, or some can, and Sam is scared of heights, so maybe not anymore. Do you have any more?
Nope, you've got them all there.
Okay. What about On This Date? Do you have anything for On This Date?
Yeah, it wasn't much for me. It's Only Make Believe was top of the charts in the US with Conway Twitty. Now, I only mentioned that because he is a Family Guy meme.
Right.
That's why I know him.
Fair enough.
And the SS Carroll D. Bradley sank on Lake Michigan, killing 33 of the 35 on board.
What happened to the other two?
They were the ones who sank it.
Yeah. That's very suspicious. Okay, so nothing much on the day itself. A couple of weeks earlier, new Pope got elected, John the 23rd. About a week after, Jim Henson established the Muppet Company. And 2 days after that, Jamie Lee Curtis was born, so kind of a Columbo connection.
The Muppet Company back in the 50s?
Muppets Inc.
In 58?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 20th of November.
There you go. Didn't realise that.
Yeah. So, next week, Maybe Baby, where we see Sam kidnap a baby with the help of a stripper.
Okay.
This is a good premise. And we'll see you in 1963.
Until then.
Cheerio.
Bye-bye.